Tell me about the water. I always hear things about you can't make great pizza in Florida because the water
Nah,
stinks.
man, I'm not a New York guy, so I can't. I think a lot of, I mean, there's some truth to it. Obviously, New York pizza is some of the best in the world, but I mean, we can't get the
All right, welcome to the Bonita Buzz. I'm Jenn Gregory, your host, a local realtor and lover of all things Bonita Springs. And today, my guest is Brad Hulett. He is one of the partners at Industry Standard. In episode 5, we interviewed Ken, and now we have Brad with us for
That's right.
episode 6.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to the Buzz.
Thank you so much.
So, we're here to talk about the pizza kitchen that is going in. Um, so, we've talked earlier that you had a very successful pizza business in Ohio.
Yeah, not Ohio. I had a pizza store, and it was anything but very successful.
Oh,
So, but it was quite the opposite. But and I'm originally from Ohio, so I had first bought my first franchise from a friend of mine, Bobby Vesturo, who owned West Shore Pizza up in Tampa, which is
okay,
a very successful franchise. It's I think their 30th year this year. Um, and I tried my hand at it, got out of the IT business and moved to Ohio. Didn't have a lot of success. Then moved back to Florida and had more success there, where it was back around where he could help me and other friends and family could help me. So I still own and am a partner with 3 of my other partners in Brandon, Florida,
oh,
with the West Shore, yeah, in Kingsway Boulevard in Brandon. So that one we've had, I think, 12 years now, and it's
nice,
done very well. So
good.
yeah,
What kind of pizza is it?
it's an East Coast style Philly. Yeah, it's not a thin crust, but it's a good, really solid East Coast pizza.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell me about the water. I always hear things about you can't make great pizza in Florida because the water
Nah,
stinks.
man, I'm not a New York guy, so I can't. I think a lot of, I mean, there's some truth to it. Obviously, New York pizza is some of the best in the world, but I mean, we can't get the water. You can replicate it. There's systems you can buy that create the New York water, but I don't know that much about it, to be
Okay.
honest.
All right.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about industry standard and how that all comes into play.
Yeah, so I'd originally moved down here 3 years ago to start what was then just the industry, and it morphed into what was the Causeway, and now is the industry standard. Ken and I were longtime IT partners. We worked together, so we've had companies together for many years. And there were a couple of other partners that came in that I had coached their basketball team. Their kids played with my son Bradley. So I had come down. We were starting, as I was kind of telling you before, we were starting. One of the concepts was, well, the entire concept of the industry, as I'm sure Ken told you, originally was kind of think of Celebration Park or a food truck park under air conditioning,
Okay.
or almost a glorified food court. So fast casual, sports lounge, that kind of thing. So I moved down. Our son Bradley had passed away on December 13th of 2019.
Sorry.
Thank you. So we were going to do Bradley's Pizza. The pizza store that I own in Tampa had always supported his baseball team, basketball, things like that. It's kind of a place we hung out. So it was, it was near and dear to my heart. So my wife and I decided let's, not so much honor him, but let's do Bradley's Pizza and see if we can make a go of it. So we came down. Things didn't work out the way we thought. A lot of permitting issues. It was post COVID. A lot of problems getting off the ground, became a real financial drain for all the partners. And we decided that, we'll put this on the shelf. So we did. So for the next few years, I kind of sat back and waited. Other partners went forward. It didn't work out. And Adam Nardis, Chef Nardis, coaches my son,
Oh,
Biagio, in baseball. So Ken approached me after the Causeway went under and he said, "Hey, do you want to try this one more time?" And against probably my better judgment, I said, "Yeah, I do
well, cool.
actually."
I'm glad you did. I love the
I do
restaurant.
too.
Yeah.
And I've always loved the space and just the concept, the industrial feel. I think it's a really cool place. So, and the indoor outdoor, it's got a great vibe. So I brought Adam in. I actually asked him to come over, and I was just, tell me if you think I'm getting into something that has no chance to make it because, it's already failed. And he came in and he looked. He's like, "Man, this place is beautiful." And um, before you know it, we're partners with Adam. So that's
Okay.
that's kind of how it shook out. So from there, we started building out the concept of more fine dining with a more upscale sports lounge, and then the pizza concept came kind of on the back end of that.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it came to be.
So when are you starting with the pizza?
The
Is it
pizza starts tomorrow night, actually
okay?
October 30th.
October 30th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this will probably air more towards Thanksgiving, just so you know.
Okay,
I try to
okay.
tell people
No,
from
it's fine.
from here to
It's fine.
editing, it's and then back to me is
Yeah,
probably about 2 3
no
week
worries.
turnaround. So, but yeah, so by the time it's theirs, you'll be up and
Yeah,
running.
we should
So,
we should be
are you
full.
doing any? Is it only dine in or is it delivery
No,
or?
it's takeout and delivery only. It's more of a ghost kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but we
love ghost
yeah,
kitchens.
so yeah, if you're ever there, I'll take you back and show you. But the pizza kitchen's kind of set away from the other kitchens. There are
Yeah,
two main kitchens there. Um, but we'll be doing pies after 9 for people watching sports,
of
or
course.
whatever at the
Yeah, yeah,
bar. And then once the patio opens in December-ish timeframe, we'll probably serve some out there.
yeah,
Yeah, but we're going to try and keep to the fine dining concept on the inside of the
yeah,
house. Yeah,
yeah. It's such a great space. I
yeah, I
just,
love it.
yeah.
I love it.
So why did we choose Bonita Springs as a location as opposed to Naples or Fort Myers or
So
Estero?
yeah, so Ken was already there. He lived in Naples at the time. I think out on Sims Road somewhere. But he was using that as a shared co-working space.
Yeah,
So, which was very cool. If you could have seen it, it was
I
really
wish I could.
nice. Oh,
It
it was
sounds
very nice.
very cool.
But he happened to open right when COVID hit.
Yeah,
So shared co-working was not, a co-working space wasn't
nobody wanted to share
no,
anything during
no.
COVID.
So his timing wasn't the best. So then he had reached out to me as that was kind of it wasn't going anywhere, and he said, what do you think? He knew I was looking at food trucks,
Oh,
and I was looking at Bradley's Pizza, and I had talked to him about it because he and I obviously were friends. And he said, "What do you think about this? What we had talked about before?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me see." And that's kind of how we ended up there. But he just happened to be in Bonita. I happen to love Bonita Springs. I think it's a great area.
yeah,
But I really like Estero now that I've lived here for a while.
yeah,
It's kind of a hidden gem as
it
well.
is.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of exploring all the different places in
yeah,
Southwest
yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
They all have
Well,
their.
I worked in Naples at HMA before CHS bought them out.
Oh,
So I worked here 4 days a week. I commuted from Tampa. I was
you did.
yeah,
That's
so
a heck of a commute.
yeah, so I did it for geez, probably 5 or 6 years. I still to this day consult for CHS in
Wow.
Nashville. So um, yeah, so I know Naples pretty well, North Naples.
Yeah,
So I really love that area,
yeah.
but I just can't afford it. So I ended up in Estero.
Maybe it'll come down. There's a lot of inventory right now. We talked about this before, as opposed to 2 years ago when you couldn't find a listing to save your
Yeah,
life, and now
yeah,
there's
that's when I moved. Yeah,
yeah. Oh
yeah,
well.
at the height of it.
So I guess we talk about BrAva.
Yeah, so
So we
the
went from Bradley's Pizza to BrAva.
right, right. Unfortunately, yes. So as we were here, my older daughter Ava, who's daughter, Bradley's sister, was a year younger than him. After Bradley passed away, and he was killed in an accidental shooting. I hate the word accidental because it really wasn't so much an accident, but up in Tampa at a friend's house, they were playing with a gun that they didn't know had a round chambered in it. Long story short, that weapon went off and struck him in the back of the head and killed him instantly at
So so
15
terrible.
years old. Ava had tremendous mental health issues after that, as you can imagine.
Right.
So we moved down here. Ava went to school at South Fort Myers High School, graduated, but struggled. She was working, she's a hard worker, good kid, great heart. Just never left the house without saying I love you. Just one of the sweetest kids you ever meet. But she struggled mightily. Um, she was at Pelican Larry's on June 15th of this year, and someone laced her drink or something, we don't know what, with fentanyl, and she overdosed there at on Prim. She coded out, but they took her to the hospital. They were able to bring her back. She came home. Um, she overdosed again the next morning. I was unable to resuscitate her, my wife and I, and she passed away. So it would have been June 15th that she passed away. So Bradley's morphed into BrAva, which was the idea of Adam, Chef
I
Nardos.
am so sorry to hear
Thank you.
all
No, I
that.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm a little numb to it at this point, but
Well, double tragedy. I mean,
and two homicide investigations. Very,
exactly. I mean,
yeah,
that's heartbreaking.
yeah. I don't know how to deal with it anymore, and I feel horrible for my wife and my kids,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason I'm still here. So is to look out for them. Um,
Well, you've got some good luck coming your way. You've got
I hope so.
God's gonna smile on you. He
I'll tell
has
you
to.
what, man,
I
the
mean,
lottery I've been winning is not the one you want to win. Uh, but so BrAva Pizza, we want to do it a little bit different. We want a more organic um, path to profit, if you will.
okay,
Um, I mean, profit's obviously the bottom line. You have to turn a profit to keep the lights on.
of course.
But and I think one of the things where early on with Bradley's, where I think things kind of separated for us as partners, is I've always had the vision of a more organic growth path, as opposed to just worrying about my calculator and what it says is here's how much money we have to make in order to do this or that. Those things tend to take care of themselves over time, as long as you're putting out a good product and you're providing good service and you're treating your clientele well. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
It'll all come around. You have to keep working. Um, Other people like to look at things. It's all about the pennies and that kind of thing. It's just not me. So that was always how Bradley's kind of went by the wayside originally. With BrAva, it's a different ownership group. Even though Ken's a constant, he and I never had this issue. And Adam and Aaron, his wife, Julie and Ken, me and Megan, our kids work at the store.
wow,
That my daughter's a hostess. My younger daughter is also a hostess there. Some of the other investors, their kids work there. Ken's daughter and son, his son's a bar manager. Adam's wife and daughter work there. I mean, it's very much a family thing.
nice.
And because of that, everybody's very much in tune with BrAva, us being able to, give back to the community. So
Yeah,
we're working on, and we haven't established. We're just trying to get open right now. So
yeah,
some of this stuff we have to work out, but we want to work with charities like Valerie's House, I think it is, and others in the area, where we can give back, a
yeah.
dollar a pizza or something
That's great.
that we can do in Bradley and Ava's honor, and
Right.
work with kids with addiction, work with suicide prevention, because we had always been concerned about Ava, with mental health issues because of the trauma she went through losing Bradley. Um, and then, we don't really veer into the gun safety stuff too much. I grew up hunting. I'm from
Yeah,
Ohio
yeah,
originally, so I'm kind of a country guy. And I don't like getting too involved in the politics of it, but we do want to help others, and we have in the past. We have a foundation, a BH3 Foundation, was for Bradley, that we're going to roll into the BrAva Foundation. Excuse me. And we've done a lot of work with underserved youth and at-risk youth in the Tampa community. So I'm hopeful we can do that down here as well.
yeah. That is so important. There's obviously an epidemic with this fentanyl crisis, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's real. It's not.
it is.
It doesn't. I mean, I'm obviously my kids are prime age. They're late 20s, early 30s, and
Mm,
I have several of my friends who are my age in their 50s who have lost children, and
yep,
not just one,
yep,
like several.
yep.
And it's and just 2 years ago I had another one. She just
Really.
like, oh,
Yeah, it's so dangerous. And they're
it
lacing
really is.
drinks, and that's what Ava said happened to her. Is the girl actually told her, I put fentanyl in your drink. If the And this was from Ava, in between her overdosing and then passing away. She was home at the time before she went to bed. And she said, the girl told me, she put it in my drink, and if the police came, not to say anything, but to tell the paramedics so they knew what to do. I mean, they're bold about it.
That's crazy to
Yeah,
me.
it is.
And
And
it's such a dangerous world right now
it
because you just don't.
you don't know, and don't drink or don't do drugs, and I mean that's easy to say, but these are kids, and
Exactly.
they're gonna experiment. They're gonna do the things that we did
Yeah,
uh,
it's just
growing up.
scarier.
It is way scarier.
Yeah,
It's almost, I liken it to when I was coming up. I was in the army. It's almost like the HIV
yeah,
time. That's the same kind of fear that's out there, but only this is way,
way
way
worse, way
worse.
worse. Because
Yep.
like you said, people can put it in your drink and you wouldn't
You
even
have
know.
no idea. No, and it's lights
That's
out. and
Wow.
there's no coming back. Yeah.
And why? What is the motivation there?
I don't get it.
To just kill people at the bar?
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Or even if you're selling like cocaine or whatever, that drug on its own is powerful enough. It,
Yeah.
it doesn't need any help.
No, not at
And
all.
if anything, that's not helping. So,
Yeah.
it's just, and there's so much going on in that community. I know kids are experimenting with alcohol and cocaine, and then they're taking downers to bring themselves back down and then do cocaine again. It's out of control.
So
So,
dangerous.
yeah.
So
Yep.
dangerous.
So anyway, we're hopeful that, I mean, obviously we're not going to solve the problems of the world, but we're hopeful that we can work
Bring
with,
awareness at
yeah,
least.
and
Yeah.
work with some of these charities that are actually making a difference on the ground, and
Yeah.
we can be a part of that.
Well, if, let me know if I can help in any
No, I
way,
appreciate it. Thank you.
especially promoting the charities, perhaps.
Thank you.
We're
Yep.
all about that here at the Bonita Buzz.
Okay.
Um, so let's see. And then, so give me some examples of your pizza, like flavors or toppings or,
So the chefs, Chef Adam specifically, geez, we went through um, probably 80, 85 iterations of this pizza just for the crust. The sauce came together pretty quick. It's really tangy, really pops. It's a great sauce. It's simple. Um, we're an all scratch kitchen,
I
so
know.
this
Yeah, we
is
talked about that, and
everything with
that
the pizza
I'm
is
a
all
huge
scratched.
fan.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We use a really high end blended cheese. I think it's a 70/30 California Wisconsin mix. I think. Adam handles this stuff a lot more than I did.
That's good.
But the crust we worked on a long time, and they finally came up with one that I think will stand up to anything in this area. I've eaten every pizza within.
Have you?
Yeah, I
What a
ordered them
great
all.
job.
They used to make fun of me. They would come in and I'd have, whoever, I won't say names, but the local one, because there's a lot of good pizza around.
There is.
And they'd say, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Geez, I'm so sick and tired of pizza, but this is pretty good." I have to be careful. These guys are good,
Oh, good.
but um, I think, and I'm being biased, but I think it'll stand up to anything that I've tasted around. I'll be very frank. The one that I like the best, am I allowed to say that? My favorite in
Is
the
what?
area, my favorite, am I allowed to say,
Yeah,
is Mr. O1 on Fifth.
I've never been there.
Oh, it's incredibly good.
I have to go.
I think our pizza not only stands up to that, I think it's slightly better. So
Nice.
that's that. I don't want to say that was the goal because it wasn't, but I think
Well,
for
since you
me
did all that
personally,
tasting, I
yeah,
mean,
for me personally, that's the one that was kind of the mark that I was hoping we'd hit, and I think we exceeded it. So
wow.
I don't want to take anything away from them; they'll
You
disagree.
must work out a lot because you surely don't look like you've eaten a lot of pizza.
That's all I do. Sit around and eat.
I love that. Oh. All right. So, but and there any plans to expand BrAva, or we're just sticking with industry standard and
No, my wife and I have talked about this at length. We've always wanted a brick and mortar that we could grow for the kids, as they come up. I think it's to be determined. I don't know where Adam and Ken right now. We're so focused on getting the industry standard itself
yeah,
um, back in order. Because anytime a bar goes under, a restaurant goes under, even if it's not the same name, it's you still got work to do.
yeah,
So we're in the process of rehabilitating that, and it's coming along nicely. But from a BrAva standpoint, I think the first thing is to kind of get out in the community, get known, um, work with some of these charities, maybe with in Bonita with the recreation center, the basketball, baseball
yeah,
leagues, those kind of things, soccer, and then. I always look around for second generation pizza stores. I'm always looking, and if I come across one, I have a couple of partners that are like, yeah, let's let me know. So I
yeah.
think it'll happen.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, now we're to the point in our podcast. I always have give a little thank you gift.
Yep.
Give you an official
Oh,
Bonita Buzz
awesome!
coffee mug.
Thank you so much.
You're
That's great.
welcome. Drinking pride. You can put whatever you want in there. Doesn't have to be coffee.
Probably beer, but that's all
There-
right. Whatever works.
But anyway, so yeah, so thanks for coming on the show again.
Yep.
I am so sad to hear your story.
Thank you.
I'll pray for you. There's got to be good things coming your way because
Appreciate it.
one can only take so much tragedy,
I
and
appreciate it.
my heart just breaks really honestly for you. So anything I can do to help you promote BrAva, I sure will do
Okay.
that.
Thanks. Well,
Um,
this goes a long way, so
yeah,
thank you so much. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
All right, and we'll see you next time on the Bonita Buzz. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.